Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum, dear students. Today we are going to discuss another poem by the famous Victorian poet Robert Browning. The poem's title is Meeting at Night. Along with this, we are also going to discuss another poem that is called Parting at Morning. Meeting at Night is a short poem divided into two parts. Each has a single 6-line stanza. The poem was originally given the title of Night and Morning, and it had a third stanza that described the departure of the speaker. It was first published in an 1845 collection of poems, dramatic romances, and lyrics. In a later edition of 1849, Browning separated them into two distinct poems and retitled them as Meeting at Night and Parting at Morning. So let's start with the first one. The grey sea and the long black land and the yellow half moon, large and low, and the startled little waves that leap in fiery ringlets from their sleep, as I gain the cove with pushing prow and quench its speed in the slushy sand. As the poem begins, Browning presents a beautiful scene that is so vivid. The speaker describes it, and the reader has a feeling that the speaker is in a boat that is moving towards the shore. He mentions the sea and emphasizes upon its being almost colorless by calling it grey, and then the long black land and the large yellow moon in the sky. The light from the low half moon makes the waves leap up like fiery ringlets from their sleep. All these images emphasize the darkness of the night, which makes it difficult for the speaker to see what is around him. At the same time, the speaker seems less interested in his surroundings, and he seems to be focusing on arriving his destination. Browning has presented or he has personified the waves by the use of words like startle and leap. The idea that the waves have been awakened stresses upon the late night and secretive nature of the action. The reader already knows from the mention of the moon that the action of the poem takes place at a strange time of night when even nature itself seems to be asleep, as is evident from the beautiful description of the waves and their startled reaction to the arrival of the boat. Then the speaker describes how he has reached a cove, a small sheltered inlet suitable for pulling the boat ashore. The slowing down of the boat in the muddy sand has been described very beautifully as quenching of the speed in the slushy sand. The alliteration found in the phrases like pushing prow and slushy sand enhance the musical quality of these lines. Then a mile of warm sea-scented beach, 3 fields to cross, till a farm appears, a tap at the pane, the quick sharp scratch and blue spurt of a lighted match, and a voice less loud through its joys and fears, then the two hearts beating each to each. In the second stanza, we come to know that the speaker's journey has not ended yet. He must still walk a mile on the beach and cross 3 fields before he arrives at his beloved's farm. In the first stanza, We find the boat moving towards the shore and coming to stop in the slushy sand. Here in the second stanza, we have a parallel when we find the speaker or the lover moving on the shore and coming to stop at the house of his beloved. Since there is darkness all around, the speaker's description of the meeting moment with the beloved is related almost entirely through sense of sound. The poem describes a tap on the window pane, and in response, a matchstick being struck inside the room. Then a low voice is heard that is replete with two opposite emotions. It simultaneously exhibits the extreme happiness mixed with fear. The lover and the beloved finally get united. The fear of being noticed by others or the fear of looming separation is mingled with the joy of the union. The narrator presents vividly the secretive nature of the meeting in the last line of the poem, where we are told that the sound of the heartbeat of the lovers is far louder than their voices. Their hearts, throbbing at a fast pace, indicate the intensity of the emotional union. The second stanza contains many concrete images like beach, fields, farmhouse, match, and the lovers embracing each other. It is a memorable poem by Browning. It is believed that Browning's inspiration for the poem was his courtship of his future wife, Elizabeth Barrett. Let's have a look at the other poem, Parting at Morning, that has been paired with the previous one, Meeting at Night. Round the cape of a sudden came the sea, and the sun looked over the mountain's rim. Here the speaker begins by describing in a few words what the landscape looks like around him. This is something that he previously did not notice when he arrived last night. His single focus was his coming union with his beloved, and he moved towards her farmhouse in an urgency as he was being derived by his deep passion of love. So the world around him has faded in the background. Now he parts from her, he sees everything more clearly. The sea is there, and the sun as well, looking down over the mountain rim. Here again we find a skillful use of alliteration in these two lines, round and rim, as well as sudden, sea, and sun. In the second line, the sun has been personified when it looked over the mountain rim. So we see that this poem is a sequel to the previous poem, and it picks up where the first poem left off. And straight was a path of gold for him, and a need of a world of men for me. We notice the use of another literary device by Browning in this stanza. The last three lines of the stanza start with the same word, and. The occurrence of the same word for more than once at the beginning of the line is called anaphora, and it is used for the sake of blending emphasis. The speaker becomes aware of the outside world around him, which has been temporarily obscured. Last night was all about union with his beloved. Now, with the arrival of the dawn, the speaker is reminded of the world of men, the day-to-day world of business and commerce that cannot be ignored at any cost, even for the sake of love. This outside world cannot be got rid of or forgotten. It demands his attention. After parting with his lover, he now realizes his daily responsibilities. The most important one is earning his livelihood. So, no matter how wonderful a time he has with his beloved, it cannot last forever. These two poems, Meeting at Night and Parting at Morning, go hand in hand and can be better understood if read side by side. That's all. Thanks for watching. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah.